focus. So it is possible to be able to do that pretty much anywhere. This is inside it looks like a college, but like I said, if you have a kitchen table or maybe just like a back room or something somewhere, that might be helpful for you. So we want to remember again, just to reiterate these points, you want an organized private space. You want it free from distractions. You want it bright, well lit, and clutter free. You want to gather all of your materials, your snacks, your drinks, your headphones before you start working, before you sit down, so you're not up and down a whole bunch of times. You want to make sure your computer is charged, the internet is working, and that you are 100% ready to go. So another suggestion for space here, this you can see here, it's like a shared space. On the right, it looks like maybe like a living room or a family room. It's got a TV there. This person hung a curtain, so they have a separate study space. And again, noise canceling headphones would definitely be a good idea if you're in a space like this. Right here, oh, face a wall if the window, face a wall if the window is distracting. I put in this as a personal sort of tip from myself, because if I have a window near me, I'm looking out it all the time. I work full time, I go to school, and so all those minutes out looking out the window are minutes that I'm not getting things done, as nice as the view is. So I face a wall in my own room, my own office here, and I would suggest it if you're easily distracted like me. All right, so before we move on, I just kind of wanted to touch base with all of you and see if you guys have anything that has been working for you in terms of study spaces, like how you set up your own space and what might be working for you right now. So you can either go in the chat box or, you know, just kind of turn your mic on and talk right now. That's fine with me too. All right. No one wants to share?
So what's working for everybody in terms of study space? Do you all have a quieter area in your house? What kind of situation do you have set up for like being a student, doing your schoolwork? Throw your siblings away, okay? So desk in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of you might already have like a study space you're using prior. Sometimes being at that same space all the time can be a little monotonous. Maybe the days are kind of blending into each other, being home like they are. So maybe possibly like rearranging your space a little bit, moving the desk to a different side of the room if possible, might help to kind of shake things up, make it feel new and just a place you might want to be. So.
A couple other comments here. Sit in my room with my Chromebook, do play some music while working. Desk with 3 monitors. Desk is kind of messy, but sort of make it out like it's a lab and be able to kind of have materials near you to kind of tinker with something or work on a project. So a lot of what we're looking at here, it sounds like personal discretion on how you have your space, but the truth is it's kind of like owning it and knowing like a mentality and outlook on your time that when you're in that space, it means that you're being productive and you're thinking about accomplishing your schoolwork task or whatever it is that you need to be doing at that point in time. No other side of the room. So smaller bedrooms, I'm seeing bed.
So maybe you aren't able to rearrange, but maybe you're able to kind of go in and give it like a deep clean, maybe change some lighting around, get a new lamp if possible, move lamps around from a different part of the room, put up a new picture, put up a plant, move a house plant around, just something maybe that makes it feel fresh in there. But if it's working, don't change it. So it's really just a suggestion, things that have worked for me in the past as a student and a busy person on top of that. So
it sounds like a lot of students could negotiate using their bedroom space, but also multi-purposing it. It sounds like is what you're saying too. A little nook over in this corner of the room. And really that's something you might want to repurpose as you get into the 5th year of the PTECH program, knowing that a lot of you do get work done over at OCC when you're there. But the reality is you're going to continue to have to work from home, whether it's the homework or the assignments or essays, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice feedback here from everybody.
Yes, I appreciate all of your feedback. Thank you so much. All right, so moving on. So when we're creating our space, we have to really think about distractions. So you want to clear your space of distractions. That could be your siblings and your family, other people that live in your house. You want to shut your TV off if it distracts you. Some people really like background noise, so it's really a personal preference sort of thing. You want to close the other tabs in your internet browsers to avoid distractions. You want to try to put your phone away as well. So put it away, put it in another room, give it to somebody in your family to keep. Or if that's not an option for you, if you don't feel like getting rid of it, I do have a few suggestions for you to help manage your time on your phone. All right, so for social media, I know that can be really distracting. I sometimes will go to take a 2-minute break and it turns into a 15-minute looking into Reddit and getting lost, and I totally get it. So these are some things I have personally used myself to block social media and other websites. The first one is Cold Turkey Blocker. It is a browser extension that you install. I have it installed on mine. I used it a little bit before sharing it with you guys, and it works really well. It basically just blocks unlimited websites. You know, you put in Instagram, Facebook, all those things that distract you. I'm not sure what you guys are all looking at these days, but that's the ones that distract me. So that works really good. Just kind of, you set it and it blocks it out for that specific set of time. Screen time setting on your iPhone. I use that as well. I have social media and stuff set to about 20 minutes. When I have my coffee in the morning, I'm looking at that. Otherwise, I really just kind of get sucked into it too much, especially being home all day. It's really kind of easy to pick up my phone and kind of look at that stuff. So another app that I've looked at is Flipped, and that's for both iOS and Android. And that does the same kind of thing. It blocks apps on your phone for a set period of time, and it just kind of gives you time to be motivated and not distracted by your other electronics and things. Okay, so I know I just checked in with you all, but I just want to see if you have any questions or anything like that before I move on to our next section. So, all right, I can see the chat box, so if you guys want to speak or anything like that, that's fine too. If there's no questions, we can definitely move on. Okay. It's a good question, Mr. Lupa.
Yeah, can students chime in if you don't mind? I know last time I checked, I was for how many hours are you averaging on screen time for cell phones? Last I was at about 2.5 hours, maybe to 3 hours on average in the given past few weeks. I'd like you to give either one, phone or computer, or you could do both, but just clarify what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Say it's a lot.
So wait,
Per day.
You wanna see our screen time?
Koji, speak out loud. What do you got?
Yeah. So on when was it? Tuesday? I'm at 16 hours and 23 minutes.
16 hours?
And 23 minutes.
Wow.
Other students, 10 hours a day. 50 hours a week.
Hey, oh, that's week. Okay, here, let me do day. Today, I've only been on for 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Parsons, I'll challenge you to keep it under 3 hours today.
I fail. I'm telling you right now.
You're halfway through the day, all right? So how about anybody else want to chime in before we move on?
10 hours ago was TikTok.
For me, I've been on the same two laptop screens for the past almost 5 to 6 hours.
Okay.
I think
Thanks.
it was on Tuesday. Koji spent more time on one single app alone than one of us had spent on our phone.
Yeah, my daily average screen time from like the last week is 4 hours and 4 minutes.
Miss Boys, I think we need an intervention for these PTECH 12th graders.
I
No.
think so. I think so. Maybe we'll work on that for another workshop.
Well, hey, Lupa.
Yeah.
So my total screen time for this past week has been 20 hours, 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got you beat in a day and a half.
I know. That's sad.
Hey everybody, we really appreciate you making this conversational, and we know that you all know each other well, so you can continue to do that. And if it's coming up that's like you want to go a little more off on a tangent, let us know. We'll talk with you about whatever.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I think it's normal that you're going to have some increased screen time right now, even because you're home as much as you are. You have less time kind of moving about. You got long bus rides that you've historically done from your home district up to OCC. So you don't have those 45 minutes, an hour to be on those buses. And at the same point here, as much as we're kind of making light of this topic, the reality is, how much time do you want to be spending? And is there some value potentially in reworking and maybe doing something more either hands-on or not tech related, going out into the well, not really the community socially, but going out and for a walk or for a hike or something like that.
Hey, Lupa, can
Yeah.
you see my screen? Can you see my screen? By chance?
That's a lot of usage right there.
That's today.
Lady, your hair looks so good. It makes me want to dye mine. But I can't.
How do I see? I don't know. I can only see one of you.
All right, so I like that idea, Miss Boys. Maybe we will assess just valuing our time overall and not necessarily reducing the technology, but how are we using it and kind of stay in balance as we move ahead.
Oh, I'm making notes. I got that down, so we can revisit that at another time for sure. So definitely a good suggestion. Thank you. Okay, so I see some questions in the chat. Are we all going back to OCC at all this semester? Nope. Unfortunately, they have all classes are online for the rest of the semester. So
yeah, can we just hit home on that point, just because if it is a point of question for one student. So just so everybody knows, OCC has officially made the announcement that the classes are going to be online for the rest of the semester. So this is really why we're talking through this today, is to, do a little bit of a pivot move or a lateral move. And it's not to lessen your experience. That's not what's going to come of this, but it's just how are you going to adapt and still get the curriculum and learn and gain your skills and confidence. And you're going to learn a lot of other unique skills, even that we probably don't even know about by going through an experience like this. So your industry partners are watching, they're supporting. We're looking at bringing back mentoring programming through the rest of the year for you guys. And when we do get back to City BOCES, there's some potential that we can have you guys come and join us on campus at given periods of time. However, none of that is determined at this point, so I'm not going to say anything more. But no, keep reaching out to your professors, doing a little extra time reading what the directions are that they're giving you. And we will keep pushing along with some of this time management and scheduling as we get through the next portions of the workshop here.
Hey, Lupa, did you hear anything about the internships over the summer yet?
There's no new information about those. So at this point, it would be suggested that they're still in place. So we should be good there. But okay. I want to get back to our workshop. And if you have other random questions or anything even related or not related, you can feel free to type it in the chat. Excuse me, text box. So.
Okay, so we will continue with this. All right. So the next part of our this workshop here is talking about making a schedule. So you need a schedule to be successful. Maybe some of you are following a schedule, maybe some of you aren't. But I know from my own personal experience, creating a schedule during the day can help you be very successful, can help you be much more organized, it can help you submit your assignments on time, and ultimately it can help you pass your courses. So how do I make a schedule? Things you really want to consider when you're sitting down to block out your time is things like, how long does it take me to read the assigned material? How long does it take me to write an essay? How long does it take me to complete a worksheet? And how long will each assignment take to complete? So those are just, I know they kind of sound the same, but they're just like little different questions that you want to ask yourself when you're looking at the assignments you have to complete. In general, at the beginning of a semester, you get your syllabus from the professor. They have the assignments and their due dates listed out. As a student, I'm in grad school right now. I'm working on my master's, and I found the best thing to do is the day you get that syllabus, you sit down with your schedule and you plug every single thing in right then, because then you have it done. You're not worried about your due dates, and it's done. So as you guys are given lists and assignments and how things change, you'd want to create changes in your schedule to reflect that. So other things you really want to consider are your outside obligations. I know all of you are at home, and some of you might be watching siblings or an elderly family member. Maybe your folks are out working, maybe they're essential workers, they're not home. So maybe some of you have that extra responsibility during the day. So you want to schedule your time with that in consideration. You don't want to make your homework time at the same time you'd be maybe feeding your little brother or sister. Do you have pets that you need to care for? That you want to consider the dog needing to go for a walk or something like that, because those things can be distracting as well. Preparing meals, like I said, maybe you're feeding yourself and other people. And then you want to make time for self-care too. So you want to block in your breaks. You want to make breaks for yourself, snack breaks, lunch breaks. Just kind of taking time so you're not sitting at that desk for like 5 or 6 hours at a time, unless that's what works for you. But you want to schedule a little chunk of time for yourself every so often, so you don't feel like you're just working all day.
Now, what do we do? Like, recently I've had a cat that's like really injured, and I have to keep an eye on like 24/7 because of his injury. And I have to call the vet every other day at the same time to give updates. So I didn't know, like.
So if you know that you are calling that vet every day at that same time, you just want to make that as like an appointment in your schedule, and like don't plan on doing schoolwork during that time, and maybe even giving yourself a little extra time before that phone call to kind of gather your, make your notes or just gather what you're going to say so you feel prepared for the phone call. So you can just make that call, get it done, and then move on. So I would make it like schedule like an appointment or like a assignment. So
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That was a great question. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to want to choose a calendar that works for you. I have examples of 3 of them that I'm going to show you right now. Microsoft Outlook, I believe that you all have access to. Ms. Ruiz yesterday said that, so you need to contact her if you need access to it through your school email address. That's the one I use for work for OnPoint. I also use Google Calendar for both school and work. The calendars actually sync on one of my phones. So, and then I'll show you Google Keep as well. Or you can pick a handwritten calendar. Maybe you have a planner from school already, or maybe you have like a dry erase calendar, a monthly calendar on your wall or something. Whatever works for you. So this first one here is Microsoft Outlook. this is like a weekly a view of, this is my schedule last week. You can kind of just see, I've got like this little reminder that timesheets are due. I've got my daily meeting with my, with the program people at work. And then I've got my lunch break in there. I'll show you the close up of Thursday the 26th. So you can kind of click on each little thing and it'll give you more information. I have a lot of these Zoom kind of interactions with people. So inside those, I have like the PMIs or the URLs and I need to click to get to those meetings. But definitely note that I have my lunch break scheduled in there. I have that time for myself because I just can't work 9 to 5 without a break and then feel like, you know, I'm getting all the benefits I get as an employee, or, you know, just like that I'm not taking care of myself in that proper way. So here's Google Calendar. Here is an example of my schedule from yesterday, my whole daily schedule. Some of it was real, some of it was made up, but I'll show you. So once you click the day and you get closer, I clicked the meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. Obviously, I don't share confidential information with students, but I would have the student's name, the phone number. I have an alert set for myself as well. So 10 minutes before my phone goes off, and I also get a little notification on my desktop saying, hey, you have this appointment with this person. You could very well schedule like, hey, I'm doing my English homework from 9 to 11, and then I'm doing this other thing from 11:30 to 12, and then you have your lunch scheduled in there as well. It's very easy to edit, but again, I want you to notice that I do have my lunch scheduled in. I'm making sure that I'm taking time for myself and not getting overwhelmed with work and schoolwork and all that kind of stuff as well. The last one I have to show you is Google Keep. So I just found out about Google Keep a little while ago. It's really kind of cool. You can take notes, set reminders. It just kind of gave me a little checkbox here. I'll show you the close-up of that. So when I clicked it, it kind of shows it up closer. And then all these little buttons down at the bottom, they're all clickable, and there's all kinds of stuff to do. So here you can see my to-do list as a student. So you can see that I had my course listed and what I was working on, the different assignments that I had going on. Maybe I had to email the dean for something, and then email a professor to submit something. So these things, you can copy it over to Google Docs. This little person here, you can click that and send it to someone's email, and I think they can edit it. So it's a lot of versatility there. Lots of free things on the internet there for you to be able to schedule your time, you know, accordingly, and also to be user-friendly for you. Okay, so before we move on to the next spot, does anybody have any questions about any more scheduling questions? I see a little bit of activity in the chat box here while I was talking. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to add in too, I mean, I know that this is, again, a unique time where you're needing to schedule all the times that you're going to be, you know, getting that work done and getting it submitted. But a lot of you have the internships coming up for the summer. So if anybody's struggling with the scheduling stuff right now and kind of getting yourself organized or self-motivated or into the idea of actually putting a more of a serious schedule together for yourself, you know, think of it from the lens of like when you land at that internship site or when you're doing your first job as a young professional, and you're able to see the tasks that are coming your way, because some tasks that they may give you, you know, they very well might be paper and pencil type. Go research this topic, put a little report together for me on how we should do this. That's when I think, you know, kind of the rubber meets the road of like real life experiences where you are going to have to schedule kind of in real time and doing that based on the pipeline of work you have coming at you. So again, as much as we can try to listen in here as to what the tips are for how to experience this as an online student OCC, kind of also have that mentality of like, how can I practice this over, you know, next week and the week after finishing out this spring 20 semester to then really impress some of your future either supervisors or coworkers with how you're able to initiate a schedule on your own. So.
And I see in here, Cooper, in the chat box, put money is a good enough motivator for me to do anything. And I just have to say that, like, the more organized you get yourself before you come to an employer, the more likely you are to be hired by them and to succeed and be able to, like, move up in that job. Organization is key to any personal or professional growth, I believe. And I think that only good things can come from being organized. So if money is your motivator, then just think about that skill, that soft skill, like Mr. Lupa said, to be able to present that to an employer. So that's good. All right, so our next and final topic here is note-taking for online learning. It's a myth that because you're taking an online course, you don't need to take notes because the information is there on your screen. The truth is that research shows that note-taking improves reading comprehension and increases retention of information. It is an active form of learning that all students, even those in online courses, should use, even forced online courses at the end of the year. You all should be taking notes. I have some suggestions for you here. Oh yeah, so how is taking notes for online classes different than in-person classes? I don't know if you all have taken online classes before, but it can be very different. I feel like more effort is required for some students. I feel like you have to pay better attention to the professor as well, especially in like a Zoom format. It might be more difficult to ask questions in real time, especially if someone's going through a PowerPoint, not looking at the chat, or you're just having like issues not being able to hear, maybe their mic is fading in and out. So I think it really is a little more difficult and takes a little more care and attention. Studies do show that handwriting your notes lead to better understanding of the material, but some students may not want to handwrite. So online note-taking can be a good alternative to that. If you have messy handwriting, like my little picture here, I personally have not so good handwriting. When I started college, I really found it a struggle to kind of go back through my notes. So once I started bringing my laptop to class, I found it much easier to kind of go through the material I'd taken down in class. And maybe you don't want to use paper, or you don't have any paper, or just trying to go green. So an online program might be better for you. So the three most popular ones that I found online are Evernote, OneNote, and Google Keep. Some of them have better features than others. I'm going to show you Google Keep right now to kind of show you if you're going to use Google Keep for your schedule, it might be a good idea to do notes on that as well. So here I have a window of Google Keep open, and then I also have the Zoom window open right there as well. So, you know, ideally you could open up your note taking on one side. See here, I show English 104, so it's easy to take notes. You can open your Zoom in another window. There's little 3 dots down here. You can transfer your notes from this over to Google Docs, which I think is really kind of beneficial. So it's not just a little note here, but it's a separate document that you can then download and share or print out for yourself. Because even if you take it online, having a physical form of paper might be helpful for you when you're reviewing. And like I said, you can share with classmates via the little icon here. You just enter their email address and then they can see it. So yeah, that's really the end of the information I have for you today. So today we learned about creating a clean, bright, and organized study space, creating a schedule to stay organized, and note-taking for online courses.